Earthlings who tune in to Love in Action Deconstruction Junction program. I am Dr. Flo, and I'm here not telling you something that I heard, child. I'm telling you something that I know. And what I know deeply and profoundly is that you are loved and lovable. You've always been loved and lovable, and you're going to be loved and lovable for the rest of your life. And Deconstruction Junction, as part of our Love in Action TV podcast program, is a place where we can come and discuss all the things that have been coming up for us throughout the week and pick them apart to see if there's some truth in it, maybe some inner discovery, some inner wisdom, calling bullshit on things that we see out in society and the political space and religious spaces and beyond that make us go, And one of my favorite people to ponder with on the planet and to observe life with is the lovely Tara Praolo Studio. Introduce yourself to the folks while I share the room, and that means that your computer's about to go ping in a moment.
Nope, I turned it on deconstruction or do not disturb.
Deconstruction junction mode.
On deconstruction junction mode. It's literally one of the only times that I do go on do not disturb anymore, which is, interesting. But I'm Tara Priolo, y'all. I am your resident Black biracial multi-passionate musician. I talk about the ish that nobody wants to talk about and push you to do the same. Like for reals. I am very excited to do today. We just did a fantastic room over on Clubhouse, and you can join us over there at 11 a.m. daily if you are interested. You can find free tickets at lovedandlovable.bio.link, lovedandlovable.bio.link, lovedandlovable.bio.link. And while you're there, if you are interested in coming and being a host on Deconstruction Junction with us or on our Daily Boost program, or just to be interviewed because you have a really interesting life story, please feel free to apply to be a podcast guest with us. Check out the Adopt a Black Artist if you are Black and are an artist. I mean, I think it's in the name. And if you'd like to be part of our membership directory, that is way down at the bottom, but you can find it and you can apply to do that. What else do we have? We have a WhatsApp community. We have a very active Facebook group where I did put up attendance today, Dr. Flo, so you don't have to deal with that. I did it during the Clubhouse room, which I forgot to tell Dr. Flo. I did it during the Clubhouse room this morning. And then, of course, we have, Dr. Flo himself has like 10 to 20 additional programs running simultaneously. I have a few running, so be sure to check out all of our practitioners and all of the people there to get clicked in as you want to be. Yeah? Did I miss anything?
You didn't miss anything, beloved. You're amazing. And I'm having a bowl of Old Man Raisin Bran while we deconstruct today. And for nourishment. And so y'all just love on me as I love on myself.
Well, okay, maybe this is a first topic. So I've been taking this branding program with it's about visual branding, but with one of my coaches. And y'all will know what it is if you're in my stories, but I'm not going to name names on here because we don't need to. But anyway, I've been taking this program and I was watching one of the replays, and in it, and also been growing in myself and recognizing in myself this absolute need to deconstruct and disrupt this idea of professionalism and what professionalism is, because I think that professionalism actually takes us outside of our authenticity most of the time. Like, most of us do not wear a full 3-piece suit with tails down the street and the nice shoes. Like, that's not most of us. Most of us want to sit around at the house with the stretchy pants and a shirt and hair up, and that has to be enough. And so I was watching one of the replays, and the person who was speaking was like, oh, I'm looking down because I have an animal in my lap that I'm petting and it's moving, and that's unprofessional. So I'm sorry. And I was like, no, but why is it unprofessional? Like, why is that something unprofessional? Because I don't think it is. I don't think it's unprofessional for me to have to go care for my baby. I don't think it's unprofessional for me to have to go cook lunch because my tummy growls. I don't think it's unprofessional for me to, walk away for a second because I have to go potty. Like, all of those things, we are human. We are human, and so we can accept each other on the human level, and not worry about what the label is, which is probably like my newest message. Like, let's stop worrying about the labels. I know we cling to them desperately because they make us different and it brings us community and we have affinity spaces for them, but like, let's let go, folks, and meet each other as humans, please. Anyway, that is not even the first topic, y'all. I don't remember what the first topic is, but
we have a saying from Buddhist philosophy in our community: may I be happy, may I be healthy, and may I be free of all suffering. And if you are suffering trying to be in your perfectionism or your professionalism, I would invite you all to let it go. Let it go. It's not worth it. And you can be free. You can be free to be loved and lovable, full, safe, and enough exactly as you are. And before I start today, because I'm feeling cheesy, Tara, I want to thank you for being a wonderful friend to me, a wonderful producing partner of Dr. Flo in the Love Experience and all of our work in Love and Action Network, and just an all-around great person. She just did a whole speech on the chains that professionalism can be, but you do want to collaborate and work with professional people. And Tara and I are both top-notch professionals. We're very silly. You're going to get song, smile, support, and shenanigans over here. But Tara's also an amazing operations manager, a managing partner, an architect of the network. And I would really be remiss, as they say, to not talk about how awesome she is as a leader in our community space. People love Tara and her leadership and guidance here just as much as they love mine. And she's a pillar in this community in addition to Poppy Water, Angie, Nye, Monica, April, Dolly, Tony, like all these people who the law of attraction is bringing together with us and towards us. They're making a really awesome love story. And Tara is a leader here. She is behind the scenes doing with myself a lot of the grunt work and the responsibility work of what it means to hold space for people of all backgrounds and walks and opinions. And I would really be, like I said, remiss to not thank her publicly as she checks emails or whatever she's doing over there in the spirit of professionalism. I could tell. I know the face.
I'm playing Roblox.
Oh my God. Well, your topic is up. So let's wait.
To miss the beanstalk, y'all. And that, so the thing is, I was like, let me check these seeds because I know they're coming up. But now I'm going to leave because it's loud.
We have to tell people the story, though. I used to have, before I started into my sobriety journey, which we may talk about a bit today, a bit more. Before I started into my sobriety journey, I used to like not want anyone to call me unannounced. I didn't want to befriend people. Like I had all these walls up to my heart as I was going deeper and deeper into my depression and my substance abuse as part of my story and my life experiment. This morning, Tara called me at 10:22, which some people be like, why are you still sleeping at 10:22, Dr. Flo? I'm an entrepreneur. I build my own schedule. I build my own flow. I live in my own freedom and my happiness. And I don't get up until 10:30 every day to start my first meeting, which is at 11 o'clock. When I became the boss, I never had to go to a 9 o'clock meeting again. It was part of the arrangement I made with myself. At 10:22, I get a call and I say, hello. And Tara says, it's not an emergency. Giant pine cone is in stock. And for those of you out there wondering what I'm talking about, there's a game called Grow a Garden. It's played by upwards between 2.5 million people to 21 million people at the same time online. It's a massive game of gardening and quest making and friendship. And we last night before going to bed, when we were playing online together, said, man, we missed getting the giant pine cone seed by 45 minutes. And I said to myself, I didn't say to her, I said, wouldn't it be nice if someone called me and told me that pine cone was in stock? Maybe I should start a business that calls people to let them know when giant pine cone is in stock and when beanstalk is in stock. Anyway, she called me this morning. I knew it wasn't an emergency because I checked my text and she was in the game earlier than that. And we both have a giant pine cone seed to plant, and she's probably planting it now.
I planted it during the clubhouse room today, and it's growing. But like I said, I'm determined to get the beanstalk, and so I'm trying not to miss the beanstalk again. Anyway, so this is from Ismatu. Y'all know how we feel about Ismatu. They were the ones that introduced care infrastructure to us, which radically changed both of the way, like for both of us, the way that we view our businesses and want to run our businesses. And I really do think that the way Ismatu runs and gets funds for what they want to do in life is really cool. Like I really think it's a very unique way of being, and I think it's really important what they talk about. And so and they talk about a lot of political education, a lot of why aren't we just feeding the people, and how can we do this, and why aren't kids learning how to read? And so where they're located at now, which is Sierra Leone, they have built a lot of infrastructure for rice farming, and that's my kiddo, for rice farming, as well as getting books in the hands of kiddos. So it's just an interesting story to follow. And if you want to support them, I would tell you to go to their Patreon. And also you can read their essays at threads.io. That is their website. So anyway, this also, like the care infrastructure, I think has been a talk of our network since I threw the video in the Deconstruction chat, which if you are in the WhatsApp community or haven't yet joined the WhatsApp community and you want to see the stuff that we talk about in and out of the week, join love.lovable.bio.link, right? You don't have to, you can mute all of the other chats. You don't even have to join them. You could just join for Deconstruction Junction to find out what we talk about. But this panic paradox, they explain it better than me. So let's watch the video, and then we'll come back and discuss.
Video incoming in 3, 2.
I cannot be the only person noticing something I now call the panic paradox. For every two, having an iced peach Rooibos with milk oolong. I want to draw this out. Basically, we have this cycle where something breaks that's fundamental about our society as we know it. And with every break comes a collapsing, a fracture in our vision for what society is and that it keeps us safe. The power grid collapsed. The neighbors were taken by the secret, not so secret police. The parents were also jailed for a lack of proper documentation on them. The teachers and the nurses keep going on strike. None of these are hyperbole, by the way. All of these are real breaks happening in our systems or symptoms of brokenness, and witnessing these things shatters our collective trust in the nation state project. If I'm going too fast, by the way, I already wrote an essay about this at threadings.io. Anyway, immediately people begin to panic. They say, oh no, something has gone wrong, the system is broken and I do not know what to do. Let me get a different color. We also have people that are in the dominant position of truth teller, right? The news, your parents, authority figures, the government, reinforcing this panic, reinforcing it. Oh no, the thing broke, there's panic, there's plenty of reason to panic. Everybody just stay the course. Don't look to the left of you, don't look to the right of you, don't sell your stocks, don't take all of your money out of the banks, don't do anything different, just stay the course. Do the same thing that we've been doing and everything will get better. This is the interpretation of reality from our dominant truth sources. Not the truth, but a truth and the most proliferated set of truths that there is at the moment. Now, staying the course requires us to run back to the systems that we have in place, right? Such that essentially nothing changes. But the problem is, it's these systems that are causing all of these breaks and all of these fissures in the first place. We rely on these systems that keep shattering us in broken glass, and then we panic. And with our panic, we are told to stay the course. And stay the course means reinvesting in the systems we have in place, thus making our faith in the nation state project, this nation state project, stronger. But then it breaks, and so we panic, and so we stay the course. Do you see what happens here? Welcome to the panic's paradox. The breaks are happening in the systems that we have in place, yet the first thing we do with our panic is run to the systems we have in place. Radicalism is only a significant departure from the systems that we have in place. So it would look like experiencing the panic and the heartbreak and the understanding that things are going wrong, and saying, instead of going back to the courts, which is going to take us back to these systems, I would like to diverge from these systems and do something entirely different. Now, I don't think that there's one right answer for what that different departure, that radical departure should be. And I think anybody telling you that there's one right answer is probably trying to sell you snake oil. But I wouldn't be a responsible communicator if I didn't give us a morsel of what we could do. My significant departures from the systems that we have in place as a mass media communicator, also known as an influencer, is to reject sponsorships, to be entirely publicly funded, and to use that public funding to build systems. All the funding that people give me is voluntary. By the way, I don't charge for any of the work. Right now, the primary system coming to fruition is rice production in Sierra Leone, specifically for my tribe, the Limba indigenous rice farmers decimated the Atlantic slave trade anyways. But I would like to expand, particularly to mass literacy projects in the United States and in Sierra Leone. I do this from funding that you all give me. Dreadings.io is where I do popular education, okay? And you can support me there. Again, you do not have to. Entirely voluntary. People also like to support on the Patreon pay, or even just like sending me direct cash assistance via Cash App, K, and Venmo, and Mo K. Anyways, while I do love using the internet to work collectively and to learn collectively, the question is far more about what we do in our direct communities to be able to depart from the systems that we have in place while being able to take care of one another. For a lot of people, it looks like being involved in political organizations that are active in your locality. But what does it look like to you? Let me know. And what more ideas do you have for me? You should read the essay. That's all. Have a good day.
So I feel like that was a lot. But I really love the beginning that emphasizes how we run back to the systems. It's like, to me, a lot of times it looks like there's the panic, there's the reinforcement of the panic, right? And there's the reinforcement of the stay the course. And some of us look left and right and we go, is it okay to be radical? Is it okay to have a different idea? And then how can we take that idea and make it work inside of the system? And then we just go around and around and around and around and around and around and around again. And so, and I like that they offered a solution at the end. And I think this is where it starts to get convoluted and frustrating. Because we all have, some of us have ideas on how it should go. Some of us are like, no, that's not the right idea. And then we start kind of getting round and round and fighting each other instead of fighting the system, or reforming the system, or building something instead. So I appreciate the boldness to say, like, this is what I think could work. And I appreciate the boldness of being someone that takes money, but literally, like, it's voluntary. Like, you do not have to pay them at all to work with them. And that's really interesting, so yeah, anyway, thoughts?
Yeah, that a certain segment of my business and operations is completely donation based and sliding scale, because I believe in open access to the people as well. And I believe that when we provide for the people, we will be provided for. And it's a bit of a faith journey and a hope walk, but I do it every day, and I love that. Also, what came up for me was how I recently recognized that while we are Praolo, a lot of people are not systems thinkers. And this is a thing that we talk about in corporate spaces and professional spaces, what it means to be a system thinker. And I'm going to try to get a distilled definition of what this is. A systems thinker is someone who analyzes situations by considering the interconnectedness and interdependence of various elements within a system, rather than focusing on isolated components. I'm going to read it one more time and then continue. A systems thinker is someone who analyzes situations by considering the interconnectedness and interdependence of various elements within a system, rather than focusing on isolated components. They adopt a holistic perspective, recognizing that a system's behavior arises from the interactions of its parts, and that changes, in one part, can ripple through the entire system. And most people, and they're not bad people, but a great many of people in our society are in the isolated part. My house is fine. My house has water. My house didn't float away. My house is not on fire. If I'm good and my family's good and my people are good, then there's no big deal. And systems thinkers have to come above that and see that we're all reliant upon each other and we're all connected. One bad thing that happens to your neighbor is happening to you. A bad thing happening to someone in your community. Right now in our community, there's a lot of grief. There's a lot of good grief. Shout out to Melody Beatty.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of good grief that's happening, but then there's also a lot of people grieving the loss of humans, the loss of their joy, the loss of their hope, the loss of their belief in themselves. Like there's just a lot of grief that's happening in our society at large, a grief about the freedom that lacks in Palestine. And I just want us to know that if you are a person who can see big picture, and you're a person who wants to develop things outside of oppressive systems like the ones that we are experiencing, if you're a person who has questions like what lies beyond the Supreme Court, that judicial branch that's hijacked, what lies beyond oppressive judgmental churches and spiritual spaces, what lies beyond everything that we've known. If you're a person who's able to do that, now would be the time to do that. To see, you saw when she drew the arrow outside. We're being called right now. A lot of us and our ideologies, we're going to talk about it in a minute. A lot of us are being called right now to forsake what we knew in the past and the ideas that we held on to in the past, and to embrace something new and systems of love and hope and belonging that are different than anything we've ever known. And these days, Tara, I don't know how you feel about it. Anybody who is telling me more of the same or giving me a solution that has been done for the last, 100 years, and it's not working to benefit everyone, I kind of rudely send them back to the drawing board. Because, when has a nonprofit truly liberated us?
I saw, and y'all, I'm grabbing my child some snacks, so I'm here, but I'm moving.
Wholeness.
We were talking about professionalism earlier. So I just saw yesterday a post from an acquaintance in town who is quitting their nonprofit job because of the poor pay. And we got to talking in the comments about how, the nonprofit industry is often marketed as being the like safe and more ethical alternative to corporate, right? Particularly to artists. And we were talking about how that is just so not true and how they take so much advantage. I am so blessed to work in a nonprofit that when I said, yo, this does not add up. This does not add up. I need a living wage, girls and boys, girls, boys, and they, them. They were like, let's step it up. We're going to figure out a way to get this girl a 20% raise and to expect more in the future. Right. And that is a rarity, right? But that is also a disruption of the system, because the system tells us to accept the 5%, right? The 3%, the cost of living wage, as opposed to what is needed, which is literally much more for living wage increases. And so I just wanted to get that in about nonprofits. But yeah, I do the same thing. Like I'm constantly like, and this is why those of you that, what, you want me to open it? Come on, bring it here. Those of you that have known Dr. Flo and I for a while, you know that there's been a joke for a long time about how I hate the word at scale, or the phrase at scale, right? And I hate and RKA, who's, look, so pretty. So pretty. Good job. Rachel K. Albers was talking about how capitalism tells us that the only way to be successful is to constantly scale, is to make things bigger, right? And make more money. And that is the constant like need. But the reason that I really had a problem with the at scale or scalability of businesses was because that was the only solution that people could give me. And I'm so tired of that solution because it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And when you look out into the space and you're like, so and so scaled to having 90 students in group courses, burned out after 2 years and quit altogether and went and got a job at Starbucks. You know what I mean? Like, that's not helpful. That is not a helpful solution. And so like I am blessed to be, I am very much in a privileged place of being able to explore what it means to be able to offer donation services like Freedom Fridays, to be able, like I put in my Freedom Friday deck yesterday, I said, you know what, all days of the week for Black people, and I always have a problem with this, because it's Two Spirit, but I always want to say T as a capital, but it's actually the number 2S LGBTQIA plus people all days of the week, pay what you can, donation based, right? Like, you know, like for these types of services, like that to me, and being able to be in that position, like that is so unique. But it also gives me the privilege of saying like, and being able to look out at it and being like, yeah, this is a problem. Why are we doing it this way? Here's maybe a different solution that we can try. Like, hey, yo, we don't need to print out all these programs. Hey, yo, it's a waste of our time to do this XYZ. Hey, yo, like we, you know, like we can, like what about a more accessible location? Hey, you know, like, and that allows me to keep this. Well, I don't always have all of the correct answers or an answer that's going to work, but I can at least look outside of the system that we currently exist in. Like the other answer that I hate, and some of you will know this. Oh, baby, that yucky, um, yucky. No, here. How about this? How about this? You want the other thing? I understand. However, that thing is not good to eat. The other response that I hate from people is just go get a grant. You like your projects would be so worth grants. People would love to give you money. I don't want a grant. I don't want to impress rich people. I don't want to impress people that have stipulations around their money, around giving their money. I want to talk to people who give with free will, who don't put professional. That was a nice hat. Who don't put professionalism or your resume at the, like, and engage in comparison. So I don't have the answer, right? I'm trying it out, grassroots, trying to lift things. And that's what I got. But at least I have the opportunity to do it outside of it, right?
Yeah, and that's why we're moving into a space within Love and Action Network, and generally where we are going. And I mean, this should be like a hashtag duh. But I've been, how do I say this? I have felt recently called more deeply into this idea of human first. I do not want to engage people by their labels. I do not want to engage people from their past history and their past experiences. I want to relate to people in the present moment. Even now, I'm feeling called to take a breath, always a great time to pause for presence, and figure out, even in my own humanity, what can come first for me now. This morning we were in the clubhouse room, and one of our new favorite people confided in us that they were feeling a bit of a prickly energy or a discomfort with me being a gay and Tara being an atheist, and how while they loved us so much, I'm trying to see who's in front of my house. I think it's the neighbor. We tape live, y'all, and we tape from our homes. And so when things happen in the home, we respond. But I think that's happening across the street. So this person told us that they previously had extreme discomfort with being in the company of homosexual people, same gender loving people, and atheists, and that Tara and I, in our leadership of our fellowship and our meetings, was bringing them discomfort. And they struggled to blurt it out because they didn't want to offend us. And I reassured this person, beloved, I'm not offended by you. I love you. Out with it. And that's when they said that their religious past and their religious beliefs were driving a wedge between us. And of course, I cried and shared and held space for Tara to share how she felt about being our resident non-believer. Not that she doesn't believe in love, but the bullshit of religion, which we talk about week after week in here. And where we came to, and we didn't come to a lot of conclusions because there's nothing to conclude, but one of the things that ultimately got lifted in the space is that we are all, including the person who shared their heart, we're committed to loving people human first, which is part of what every religion on the planet says that it's about. But here's what happens. Religion, spirituality, which is divine and, in my opinion, flawless. Love and its energy and essence is flawless. Once we start applying our human opinions and attributes to love, and once we start seeing people as their labels first, I joked when I was told, I said, oh my God, here's another person calling me gay, Tara. You know, y'all see all of these rainbows behind me, the pride that's there, the rainbow love sign. I didn't buy that shit for me. My super fan Angie sent this over hundreds of miles. For those of you listening on the podcast, it's a giant rainbow heart. Some of you all have seen also the Rainbow Pride Poppy Flow Rainbow Chalice. I'm not going into, or the rainbow bracelet. I'm not going into the store and purchasing rainbow shit, y'all. Our brand colors are black, white, and red. You know, it is the people around me that send me colorful eggs and things. And so then y'all come into the podcast or the YouTube or the Facebook or come into my life. You're like, oh my God, he's such a gay person. I wish he would stop, shoving his lifestyle in my face. I wish you straight people, if that's how you identify, would stop shoving your lifestyle in my face. With your babies and all of this bullshit. I'm joking, Tara. But it's just like we live in a heteronormative society.
Gay people have babies too. So do lesbians. So do they, thems.
And there's a segment of them, not to counter what you're saying, because what you're saying is true. There's a segment of them as well who are only doing that to fit in to what's normal under heterosexuality. Correct. If that's what you want, that's what you want. I'm not having kids for y'all, even though Poppy loves kids. I think that we would be greater served if we saw each other outside of our whiteness and our blackness and who we sleep with and how we express our love and how we show up, and just try to relate to humans who are truly trying to just make it through life happy, healthy, and free of suffering. everyone I know wants to eat something nice, wants to have enough money to take care of themselves and their family, wants to have a little extra money left over, a lot of extra money left over to have fun and great sex, great food, and great adventures, as I teach in my coaching practice. If you're out there looking for some clarity coaching and accountability services from Love and Action Services Group, go to our website, lovedandlovable.bio.link, 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 to sign up for our donation-based and premium coaching services. But when I talk to people in my coaching practice daily, we pretty much want the same thing outside of our sexualities and outside of our racial identity. And I feel weird because she's playing with the child behind her, but Tara's back.
The child was trying to scale the bookcase.
That child is so rambunctious, loved and lovable. What say you, while we do watch the child, please keep an eye on the child.
Yes.
What say you about your pivot into seeing people outside of their labels and what that's done for you, or when you are seen in a label that is not the totality of your identity, it's just a part of who you are, the fact that you went to church as a child, they were very mean to you, and of course the Christian people and the religious people are like, well, not all Christians are like that. There's enough of that in-group and collective for us to come to the conclusion that y'all should be policing your own group and creating more inclusive environments for all of humanity. Where is God for the starving children and the men and women of Gaza? Where is God to prevent the rape and sexual assault of the women in Sudan? Where is God to find the little girls that washed away in Texas? I have a hard time believing in these systems of oppression and control. For me, it's more gentle on my spirit to move human first. What say you?
Yeah, I resent communities and industries that have a primary objective of exclusion, whether that is explicit or implicit, right? I really have resentment towards that. And I think that particularly in the spiritual realm, particularly in the religious realm, the label gets turned into something that's exclusionary, right? I am a Christian, therefore I cannot be a Jew. I am a Christian, therefore I cannot be a Buddhist. I am a Christian, therefore I cannot be a person that divines things from crystals. I am a Christian, therefore I cannot even talk to these other communities, and they are not welcome in mine. Right? And I'm using Christian, but y'all, like, we could say the same thing about I am Black, I am Asian, I am Native, I have tattoos, right?
I have a bachelor's degree, I have a master's, I have a doctorate.
Like all of these things, that the label becomes exclusionary of other people that don't share the same label, right? So, and that becomes an echo chamber, which I think we all think maybe sounds really cool. But the reality is that those spaces are not safe for everyone in the space. I saw a post the other day on Threads, and it was, essentially, I think it was talking about Black LGBTQIA plus people. And it was, essentially like, not all Black spaces are safe for every Black person, right? Like not all Black spaces are safe for every Black person. And I just and I feel like I have been very steadfast in this decision that my table includes all people, right? Like my table that I welcome people to can have a maggot. It can have a leftist. It can have a white person. It can have an Asian person. It can have a blue person. It can have a brown person. It can have anything, right? And there's a lot of people that come at me and they're like, no, Terry, you can't do that. Like you gotta choose either the black community or the white community. You gotta choose. No.
Choose ye this day whom you will serve, or else.
Right.
That's
No.
scripture.
Right. And I just, as I said in the room this morning, like I prefer to meet people's humanity rather than meeting their labels. That's the fact, right? Like I really don't care who you are. If I can meet you in your humanness and I can meet you on your energy level, that's all I need. I don't need to know what you do in the bedroom. I don't need to know what color your skin is. I don't need to know what you do when you're talking to Jesus. I don't need to know. It does not matter to me. It doesn't matter to me.
I drink my water and mind my business too, child.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's easier to love than it is to exclude.
But this morning's conversation didn't offend me at all. And this is how I know that I'm sober, emotionally, spiritually, physically. I know that I've been doing the work. And even in scripture, create in me a clean heart and renew the right spirit within me. Because y'all know I went to Bible college. I'm a street preacher. I'm a non-denominational minister like Sister Nisi. And create in me a clean heart, O higher power, and renew the right spirit within me. Cause me to focus on the humanity in others. Let me see everyone as my brothers and sisters in love so that I can be compelled to feed people and to help people. We got a lot of suffering going on in society, including these 4 1,000-year floods that Tara's about to talk about. We don't need any dogma or beliefs inside of us. I don't. I statements therapeutically. I don't need anything in me that's going to keep me from loving somebody. I'm tired too, girl. Some of y'all know I went to bed. She's a mom. I went to bed at like 4 a.m. arguing with a TikTok troll. And then my husband's alarm went off at 4 a.m. And now we're going to need to end probably in the next 30 minutes, Tara, so that I can go and get preparations for dinner because I am the stay-at-home working partner. But it is my responsibilities to take care of these things. And the request tonight is for lentils, and I make a mean pot of lentils for my vegan husband, and I'm happy to have that too. And I'll probably be turning in a little earlier than we did last night. But yeah, y'all, with 1,000-year floods happening and with all of the suffering that we're seeing that we are choosing in our network to not turn away from, it is so important that we love one another. This is the greatest commandment. I'm sorry, this is the greatest. This great commandment. What's a teleprompter? Oof. If I were arrested, it would have come right to me.
I have no idea, child.
I know. John 13. I knew you didn't know it. I wasn't even waiting on you to help me. John 13, 34, 35. A new commandment I give to you, that you love one another, just as I have loved you. You are also to love one another. I'm going to read the King James Version because that's the most oppressive one that everyone loves to quote. A new commandment I give unto you. I couldn't get it out in the King James. A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you, that ye also love one another. By this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love one to another. One more time, John 13:34. And they can't stand that I'm a homosexual that knows the text. Even one of our great sisters, Nye, in the room this morning was like, I read a couple sentences in Genesis and I couldn't go any further. People really don't know the scripture. And so it's easy to say, homosexual people deserve to die and burn in hell because that's how I feel. And because that's how I feel, that's how God feels. No, John 13:34-35, according to your literature and what y'all claim to care about. And I love everybody that I was with this morning. It says a new commandment, not the 10 commandments. Thou shalt not do this. Thou shalt not do this. Thou shalt not lay with man as man. Thou shalt not lay with woman. Fornication, abomination. They love calling homosexuals and any kind of sinner an abomination. In John 13, Jesus Christ, according to the history that y'all ascribe to fully, said, I've come to give you a new commandment. Jesus came, Tara, to break systems. Jesus came to install new systems, and they killed him for it. That's why we're in danger, girl. We're not really in danger, but that's why you're in danger, girl. We're in danger.
You know what? The thing, I've told Dr. Flo this before, but the thing that people don't realize about me either is that I also went to a Lutheran college, and that was the place that I read the book that y'all cling to so desperately as like a text, like a textbook instead of a belief manifester. So I don't have it memorized because I did. There wasn't no way. There was no way that my person was going to be doing that. But
I'm one of those.
I do. I have read and have been like, that's problematic. That's not right. That's not what the people say. So anyway, yeah. But your God, your Mother Nature, your whatever, has been sending us lots of storms. And if you just click forward, and I realize, y'all, that we talked about the Texas thing last week, and that we talked about climate change last week. But I thought this was a nice condensed version. This is from one of my favorites, y'all, The Reclaimed. In just 1 week, the United States saw 1 in 1,000 year storms in 4 different states: North Carolina, New Mexico, Illinois, and Texas. And says, what a great time to defund severe weather warning systems and climate research, and then links an NBCnews.com article, which you can find on the internet probably by typing in US rocked by 4 1 in 1,000 year storms. And I know NYC has been dealing with some flooding lately. And so I just wanted to lift this again because officially, I believe either this morning or yesterday, it has been passed that we are defunding these notification systems. And also, I believe that means the Amber Alert system. Lots of strange fruit, that is happening right now. And this will continue to get worse. And I just really hope, like, to go back to the panic paradox, that instead of panicking and relying on the systems, that instead we find ways to notify our neighbors and have conversations with our neighbors when our phones go out, and be able to help each other through this change of the earth and this rebellion of the earth, saying, no, girls, you can't do that no more.
I think that Mother Nature, Gaia, is rebelling because she does what she wants to do, like yourself and like me. But also, it is pointing out the absurdity of us allowing this suffering when all of the money's made up. And if I haven't said that this week already, let me say it again. The money's monopoly money. It's all made up. If selfish and greedy humans decided that they wanted to put extra money in the system to care for people, They could. I shared an article that's not with us in the room today, but there are thousands of pounds of nutrient-dense biscuits and food for starving children and adults in Dubai that is going bad. USAID, which is one of our funded systems that they defunded in their evil regime, is currently sitting on thousands of pounds of food that's about to expire. It's going to cost $100,000 to dispose of over $700,000 worth of food in Dubai right now because that program was defunded. Good food made from good resources going to be destroyed because people in power are greedy and can't get their shit together. And I've seen that happen in the macro there, but also in the micro of this community where the food is here. They are orchestrating scarcity. They're making it up. They're creating scarcity. And they are saying there's not enough money in food to support people, and that's a lie. And unfortunately, a lot of people are going along with it. We talked a bit earlier about some heavy things, so I wanted to take a moment to talk about gaming as an adult. Tara, at the beginning of this podcast taping, was sitting over there. I thought she was doing adult things like emails. She was actually playing in her garden. And there is a game that we play every day. We have a friendship pot in there, and she gives me lilacs from her garden so I can feed my pets in my garden. It's a Roblox game. Roblox is usually played by well-behaved children who want to get Robux from their parents in order to be able to have fun in this digital space. Roblox is a game that has millions of gamers and millions of games made by the gamers. And our most popular one that has on it daily anywhere between 2.5 million people to 21 million people playing at the same time. This game has outpaced and has broken the record of Fortnite as the most played video game in the world ever. And we are addicted to this. And this morning, like I told you earlier, Tara cold called me at 10:22 and said, it's not an emergency, and I'm sorry for waking you up, but giant pine cone seeds are in stock. And I said, oh my God, thank you. We've been looking for one of those since last night. It hasn't been in stock for most of the week. We haven't seen giant pine cone seeds since Monday. We both wanted one last night, and we played the game but didn't go check the seed stock. And so we didn't get the seed last night. And then this morning, she woke me up and said, it's in stock. And I said, thank you so much for calling me. She says, you got 2 minutes, 2 minutes and a half to go get it. And I went and I got my giant pine cone seed. She's planted hers already. And I'm very excited to plant mine once I come up for air today. But I want to encourage all of you to have some fun in your life, whatever that means for you. And we all have something that brings us back to a childlike joy and a sense of presence to play in our lives. Of course, y'all know that Dr. Flo and the Love Experience is going to be touring and coming to local cities all over the country and the world. And one of the key components of the work that we're doing through Color Magic and Beyond is creative expression and play. And the fact that adults have become so serious, and in a lot of instances, they're forcing the kids to be serious. And while there is a time for work and taking care of our responsibility, we must not get so heavy in the 1,000-year floods and the meanness of the evil regime that we don't grow our gardens. And Tara was a Farmville player for many years. And we had many months ago engaged and began to run Love and Action Network's gaming network and gaming group. And it kind of fizzled because we couldn't quite find a game that Tara enjoyed and that the community enjoyed. I was playing Idle Mafia for a little bit, and she was just like, there's no strategy to this, and there's no point to this. And like, why would I want to sit around and just push the same button? And like, it's just no fun, Dr. Flo. So it's a full circle moment for me with that phone call this morning. Number one, I'm sober and free in my emotions enough to receive phone calls from friends again and really be excited to hear from them about anything. That's progress for me. And also the fact that I went out on the internet and researched this game and said, I think it's got the farming elements that Tara likes. It's got the crafting that she likes. It's an idle gamer for me. That was the thing for me. I needed a game that I didn't have to be in all the time because, y'all, this game is the first game in a long time that I've been addicted to. I'm thinking about it right now. I can't wait to log off from this podcast taping and play it. Really, honestly. And Tara has it running in the background as we speak. Or she turned it off because it had the background noise. But I need a game. It's called an idle gamer, you guys. It's called an idle gamer. And so even when you leave the game, your plants still grow. So you come back to, and so it's Farmville. Farmville, you plant your seeds. If the plants take 2 hours to grow or 15 minutes to grow, you can leave. And when you come back, you harvest. And I said, I think my good Judy, producer, vocal captain, partner, awesome person, Tara, I think she's going to like this game. And I introduced it to her. And as always, I'm dragging my friends to the party. I'm like, girl, we're going to play this game. If you don't like it, we'll find another one. Because she did not like Idle Mafia. And there was a scandal that happened in Farmville with their mom. For those of you who watched the podcast that heard about that. So change needed to happen. And I'm so grateful that we, along with millions of other kids of all ages, are going into this game and having fun every day. If y'all need extra coconuts, if you need extra watermelon, strawberries,
if you need prehistoric stuff, if you need lilacs, please come visit my flower garden. I'm really proud of my flower garden. It is so beautiful. I moved everything to one side of the farm. Like I have a whole, including the roses, which are actually really ugly, but I moved all of my ground cover plants into one area this morning, and all my lilacs are now all on one side, and my foxgloves are over there, and my paradise petals. And just please come visit my flower garden because I'm really proud of it. I'm really proud of it.
She has the best lilac garden within her garden on the entire app, and the pets love to eat the lilacs. And so once a day I go and see if Tara has any extra lilacs around, and I feed them to my pets and my pet dinosaurs that are roaming the garden. And if y'all are out there and you need a little nudge into your fun, just come and hang out with us. We would love, we're in there all day, every day, just having fun. We work a little bit, we play a little bit, work a little bit, play a little bit. That's how you get a work-life balance. And that's what a lot of us are craving in life, especially right now as adults. I also want to give a special honorable mention to an app that we recently re-downloaded this week called Finch. Finch app is I'm going to read from the website quickly what it is. Finch is a self-care pet app designed to help users improve their mental well-being by gamifying self-care routines. It uses a virtual pet like a Tamagotchi that we had as children, a burb, that users care for by completing real-life tasks and earning rewards. The app also features goal setting, habit tracking, mood tracking, journaling, and mindfulness exercises, all while providing a cute and engaging virtual experience. And so we have games that we play just for fun, but we also have apps on our phone that are free that allows us to care for ourselves and to move through goals together. And so just know that we are whole adults seeking to heal ourselves, but we're also having fun, and you all are certainly invited. And I just traded addiction for an addiction, really. Some of y'all know that for 7 years, I was a functioning stoner. And I went to Broadway and started a business. And we've been 4 years strong in our community building of a vibrant, strong network called Love and Action Network. I did all of it higher than a giraffe's pussy. And it was crazy, and then ultimately ended in destructive behaviors. And I just decided about 3 weeks, going on 4 weeks now, that I didn't want to be addicted and powerless over substances, so I quit. And I know that it's not that easy for a lot of people in life to just give up these things, but we have a mantra in our community. I let go of anything that does not serve me.
I let go of anything that does not serve me.
I let go of anything that does not serve me. And the drugs were no longer serving me. So I threw everything in the trash and I chose me. I didn't want to
came back and said, "You did?"
She said, I left for one weekend. And
it always happens when I'm gone.
And you came back with a total life change. You know why that is, though, Tara? Some of my life changes happen when you're gone because our friends are like chief influencers in our lives. True. Sometimes it's hard to know whether we're doing things for our family and friends or if we're doing them for ourselves.
Agreed.
And you going away for the weekend on a trip allowed me to not ask you, like, Tara, what do you think about my addiction? What do you think about the destructive nature of my addiction? Like, do you think this is something that I should quit, only for me to then quit it and then be resentful towards you if it didn't work out positively? Me setting aside my addiction and my addictive habits, gaming notwithstanding, allowed for me to get clear with myself. I intend to travel to Japan very soon, Brazil, all over the United States. I've got a lot of places where I am seeking to do my ministry and mission work. I did not want to be on a flight crossing the Atlantic Ocean thinking about my next hit. I didn't want to be landing in a foreign country to sing and to perform and to dance and to be thinking about where I'm going to find a dealer. Some habits are keeping us back from what we want in this life. And one of the biggest addictions that we have is to overthinking and hating ourselves and having self-doubt, like we talked about this morning in the room. So you may not be shooting up anything or smoking anything or snorting anything, but you may have a problem with doubting yourself and not believing that you can live a happy, healthy, and free life. And that's an addiction too. Or maybe you gamble, or maybe you overspend, or maybe you're mean to people and you're addicted to feeling better than people. We all have things that we're addicted to, but if they're getting in the way of your happiness, I want to encourage you to take your time, but love on yourself enough to let go of the things that don't serve. Tara, how do you feel about addiction? Your witnessing of my addiction while being compassionate to what I was going through as a highly productive stoner. Highly productive, y'all. I did all the dreams while being higher than a giraffe's pussy. But how did this land on you as a witnesser of the addiction? And then is there any area of mirroring that you saw in my addictive behavior to what you go through on the ground?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go back to the human first, because I think, and I'll probably say this every week that we talk about this, addiction is a disease. Like it is a disease. It is not like a person has addictive traits, right? And I remember at some point, and it's become kind of like one of Dr. Flo's mantras that he says often enough that you'll hear it. Like if you hang around for 90 days, you're going to hear it. You know, I'm not creating a codependent relationship. I'm not creating a codependent relationship. It was so important for him to not be addicted to another person, right? And yet he was addicted to his best friend, Mary Jane, right? Like, and that truly like was what it was. And so I think in a lot of ways, like, you know, I've talked about it before, like I've never been in quite that type of relationship with someone who was so heavily and actively using some kind of substance. Like I think many, the majority of people, as we go through our 20s and as things become legalized for us, we try the different substances, and most of us are addicted to one of them by the end of our 20s. You know what I mean? Whether that be alcohol, whether that, like, even the other day, I have a friend who, like, very much
the cigarettes.
Yeah, I very much in the musician life of like gigging and then having a drink after the gig, right? And having a few drinks after the gig. And then just recently was like, you know, when I wake up from the alcohol, like, I don't feel so great. I think I'm not going to drink every night of the week. I was like, you know, if that's what you want to do, like I had to get off the alcohol, y'all. I used to be a wino. I used to drink wine multiple times a week, a couple glasses of wine. I had to give it up for IVF, and I have never gone back. I have wine sitting over there. I'll have a glass like once a month. Dr. Flo knows this. I very rarely pick up any kind of alcohol anymore, just because of the way I know I'm going to feel the next morning. It makes us sick, right? And we don't recognize that we're sick because of the thing that we're ingesting. And so back into the mirroring of it, I think in a lot of ways, I realized like how, and because of the codependent comment, like how dependent and addicted people became to a person like me. Like being in close proximity and friends and a student of Dr. Flo, being an active addiction for years really made me look around me and go, oh my God, I think that person is just like addicted to my personality, but they don't actually care about me. Right. And then also like my addictions to the thought spiral, right? Like even so much, we had this conversation, and this is the last thing I'll say because I know we got to go. There was a time that we were talking about, and Dr. Flo talks about this too. So y'all have heard it if you've been around, but like your face pressed up against the glass, like you want to be in the pressurized situation because it makes you go, it makes us go, right? Like that, the fear thing is like, yeah, right? But like how addicted I was to finding something terrible in my life to make me go to the next thing, as opposed to finding
Say it again.
Finding something terrible in my life to motivate me to go to the next thing, right? To go to the next level, right? And that started becoming a sickness, right? Not a nice person to be around. I'm a mean girly, okay? Like I will bash you the fuck up. I will. Like online, there are people that I unfollowed, and then I never did this to Dr. Flo, but I did to a coach that is my coach currently. I unfollowed, hid my stories, and railed against them. And there are people that have seen all of those stories over the last 5 years and are also still in that person's community, right? And I didn't do it often, but I did it often enough that it's something that I carry with me is like, that's the person that I don't want to be. right? That's the person that was motivated by pain and suffering and sorrow and fear. That's an addiction, right? That addiction to that personality of like, yeah, I'm strong because I'm punching down. No, I would rather be addicted to and motivated to my natural, joyful state. I would rather be addicted to me without tearing anybody else down. I would rather be addicted to community right now in this moment. So, to conclude, like one of the things that I realized, and it was in the 10 months of separation, that there was I never ever, Dr. Flo can confirm, I never ever said to Dr. Flo, you need to quit that shit. I never said it to him, ever. Even in the discussion, the 2 days before he quit, I never said it to him. But I was carrying with me, I talked about, that addiction is a disease, that addicts were bad people, right? The addicts had just like gotten off the path so far, and like, why would they choose that? There was a judgment there. There was the mean girl. There's the mean girl back here, like wanting positive Tara to come forward. And in that realization of like, I am hating my friend and my coach and my colleague because of something that he can't control, that's not fair. And that's not an addiction that I want. That's not something I want to carry every day, that I got to let that shit go. And so I did some research and I said, nope, okay, I'm done. Like, I'm done judging addicts. I'm done judging all of us for what we do to cope with the horrors that we see in the world. Right. And I'm no longer addicted to that negative side, like that negative thing to make me reactionary. I'm addicted to being proactive. And that might not work for y'all, but it works for me.
Proactively loving. Addicted to being proactively loving.
Yeah.
Addicted to humanity first. Yeah. Such a vibe. Let's talk about community building. There's a slide here. It says, if we are really serious about building community, we need to have to be intentional about noticing who is left out, then finding ways to include them. Noticing who is having difficulties, then finding ways to ease them. Noticing who is harmed, then creating solutions to heal or solutions to help heal. Noticing agents of harm and protecting vulnerable folks from them. Noticing systems of harm, then dismantling them. Community isn't just gentle welcome. Community also must be active, sometimes confrontational.
Yes. No crumbs. It's not like, seriously, no crumbs. Like I said at the top of this podcast, I think I've been really obsessed with I found a carousel that I'm not sure I dropped anywhere, but I found a carousel and I found that thread that were both just like so on my heart of, oh my gosh, like, yeah, we have to be active in community. And I said it in the clubhouse room this morning, like, I'm so grateful that our community is active and is looking for these solutions, even the small ones, right? Even I need to go and have this meeting with XYZ, even, like I need to go in and do my admin work, even though there's no appointments booked, right? Like, those things are so, like, they feel so small. I was wondering where you put that. This child put it in the whole cupboard. I was like, where is the water cup? It's in the cupboard. They just took it out.
They're tidy like their mommy.
The babies are fascinating, y'all. Fascinating. So yeah, I think this is a quick one, but community is active. And sometimes we can use community to fight. Marketing, this should be quick as well, I think. Yeah, building something you believe in and staying quiet about it is called sabotage.
Oh,
and if
Jesus.
you've been around for any length of time lately, you know that Dr. Flo and I collectively, collaboratively, and individually are actively just simply trying to talk about the things. No, we are actively talking more about the things that we do, right? And because it is sabotage. It is sabotage. And I even said it to Dr. Flo yesterday, because he was talking about, he asked me, hey, baby, not a good idea. He asked me about my signals and my noise. And my noise, yeah, we're banging it on the cupboard now. The noise for me is like, oh, I'm saying too much because I'm not getting any feedback on any of it, right? But the reality is that it just needs to be more of me. And a realization in the room this morning, is like, I'm a lightning rod in my own way. And I didn't really believe that I could be that when I have so much privilege and when I walk through the world in the ways that I do. But like, I have quite the lightning rod capability. And so, yeah, this was a really short one, but I just was like, yeah, it is called sabotage. Like if we're doing something behind closed doors, who's going to know? You know that TikTok sound, y'all? No one's going to know. Who's going to know?
It reminds me of these people. I don't know if it happens in white community culturally, but Black people up and down the feed are always talking about moving in silence. Don't let nobody know what your dreams are before you do them, or don't let anybody know what your business plans are, anything. Move in silence. I'm
Right,
moving in
because
silence.
what if you fail? Like, what if it doesn't happen? What if nobody signs up?
Or what if somebody talks shit about your dream and discourages you and all this stuff?
What if somebody starts a Reddit thread and talks about your feet and talks about your fat thighs and talks about your back? Like, what if the people talk about you?
Let them talk. Let them talk. And especially while they're talking, remind them to create a ceasefire in their minds and in their hearts and the world over. Change begins within. We talked about this morning in Clubhouse. God is change. My definition for God, if I ever believed in God anymore and had a definition in God, it would be that God is change. And that energy is trying to move our hearts towards compassion and to put down the weapons that we have for ourselves and each other. And so as we do every week, and we've been doing for over 80 weeks of programming, our network collectively and individually in our communities and in our hearts, Tara and I are calling for ceasefire. Within first, because nothing's going to change unless we are healed within. And then it's going to ripple out of us eventually. But we really need to be having conversations with our community, if we can, about what a ceasefire looks like in our house. Poppy Water and I got into a fight earlier in the week because I nared my asshole, and it got me a chemical burn. And
No, please do not do that to your yonis, your pussies, and your bussies. Leave it alone. Also, I would like you all to notice, because at this angle, do you see this black thing in the background? That is my child building their world. That is Daddy's extra phone that we have so graciously placed on the windowsill and balanced it on the windowsill. And we have not been back for it, but we built this morning. We worked on it for about 30 minutes. So this is the creativity of my child. I expect you to clap. Thank you so much.
it's like MoMA, being at the Museum of Modern Art. It is
Exactly.
modern art.
Exactly. And we're smiley about it. What did you find this time? Yeah, good.
Okay. Love that child. Uncle Flo loves you very much. Yeah, joy as the revolution. Ceasefire. I didn't think that Poppy Water cared enough about my burning bush. And he did. And it caused friction in our home because of a misunderstanding and being distracted, myself and him. we had to call a ceasefire on that destructive energy in the house. How do we expect for destructive energy to dissipate and to resolve in the world if we're not willing to do it in our communities and in our home spaces? And so we're calling for ceasefire. Tara has a little share here.
Yep. From Zeli Imani, I've told y'all before, he's rapidly becoming one of my favorite people on the internet. Says Israel is a terrorist state. Nothing more needs to be said. So moving on to our programming, I mentioned earlier that Dr. Flo has at least 10 to 20 that are running concurrently. I am participating in many of them, but I do not lead many of them. I do have my own programs, but there are, Dr. Flo is leading a lot in Love and Action Network. I think the first slide here is our Adopt a Black Artist program. And that, it's not the first slide. Sorry. Dr. Flo will talk about the king. But Adopt a Black Artist. So we haven't featured anyone lately because we haven't gotten any applications. But if you're interested in applying, if you're Black and you're an artist, apply. Put your name in the hat. We just post you on our socials and get you, at least more looks outside of your community. Because at the end of the day, it's not about isolation. It is about collaboration. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm now hiring folks who want to be part of something bigger than themselves as we unite the talents of diverse artists to celebrate the power of love through music, theater, and art. If you're interested in joining our network online and being part of our morning fellowship meetings and building in with our collaborative shows and our color magic and our oh my God, Dr. Flo and the Love Experience is a fun project, y'all. If you're interested in making commission-based money with us or tapping into a deeper flow, Jesus, I'm so tired. I'm so fucking tired. I'm gonna sleep tonight. If you're interested in being part of our magic and tapping into our deeper flow of love, you can apply an audition at our link in bio. That is lovedandlovable.bio.link. lovedandlovable.bio.link, lovedandlovable.bio.link. Applications are up and available. And if you get a little confused on how to submit your materials, just reach out to us via either the WhatsApp groups or our live chat and text support. Up next, we've got Tara talking about blackening the canon and also Freedom Fridays.
Yeah, so blackening the canon, y'all have heard about this for weeks and weeks, but I'm probably not going to stop talking about it because why would I? So right now it's a group chat, totally free group chat that I am probably going to make into memberships very soon because I was talking to Dr. Flo about it yesterday and I was real excited about it. And that's the work we do in Unfuckwithable, which we have not mentioned on this podcast, I don't think, which is $25 a week with Dr. Flo if you want to coach with him and have one mastermind a week and client checks. You can also do that inside of the Community Academy as a pay what you can sliding scale option. So blackening the canon, it's a group chat right now. It is an effort to allow people to see themselves inside of classical music, starting with an influx of Black composers and forgotten Black music inside of those academic programs. Freedom Fridays is my newest offering. So I just started that at the beginning of July. And every week, I'm just going to be kind of offering like something free, right? I'm going to do reels online. Last week, y'all saw a Deconstruction Junction reel and a singing tips video. And so that's going to be my day to do that. And then this Friday, I'm offering free 15-minute alignment checks. So whether that is your warm-up routine, a song that you want some feedback on, a messaging issue, a color recalibration in your colorful voice online, a DEI check on one of your initiatives, really if I put this in my in the carousel that belongs to. If you think I can help you, I can help you, right? If you think I can help you, I can help you. So that's Freedom Fridays.
That's very real. That's very real. And we encourage people in our community to ask for help and to not stop asking until you get it. I'm going to say it one more time for the people in the back listening on the podcast, the watching television show on all of our many platforms. Shout out to y'all on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, and beyond. Ask for help and do not let off of these people's necks, baby doll, until you get it. There are people who want to help you. They want to give you money. We say time, talent, and treasure. They want to give you all of these things. The only thing that you have not done is ask. And we are part of that fun bunch. We want to thank y'all for watching today and holding space for love daily. On behalf of Terra Part Olo Studio, Poppy Water 33, and all of our production team and sponsors and donors, Love and Action Network, and myself, Andre and the Flow, we are calling for justice for Charles McNair always, and justice for all people all over the planet. We always invite you to stay in your power, to stay in your joy, stay loved and lovable. And we cannot wait to see y'all next week as we unpack life. Life is happening, y'all. And if you got something that you want to unpack, send it in to us. We would love to have you either on the pod or to unpack it in public and just, talk amongst friends about what it means to be human in times like these. Stay in your joy, stay in your power, stay loved and loved.